Today we're going to be doing eyeshadow palettes. The next was highlighters, and then after that was lippies. So I'm not going to necessarily do them in chronological order like within the next day or two, but I will get to the highlighters and lippies very soon. I write down everything that you guys recommend and the products that I should try out. I do listen to y'all's recommendations of products I should buy and new palettes or just new makeup that comes out, because I don't know everything. And I'm not going to come up here and act like I do, because I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have other duties along with YouTube, but YouTube is my passion, so I enjoy coming up here and sharing with you products that I enjoy, or just different fashion ideas too and lifestyle things. But I want you guys to also let me know your recommendations on palettes or anything from the series that I do mention down in the comment section, because this is a community. This is why I created this channel, for girls who had similar interests as me to come up here and be able to talk makeup. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and move straight into my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. So before I get started with the palettes, this look that I have on today I created with 2 of the shadows from the palettes I'm going to share with you today. It is what I consider to be like my everyday go-to makeup look. I don't wear makeup every single day, only when I'm filming, but when I film, I like to reach for more natural looks, if that makes sense. Only thing I did that was a little bit bolder today with this makeup look was my under eye color, which I decided to add a little bit of blue for a pop today. The first palette I'm going to share with you guys is the LORACED Unzipped. This has got to be one of my favorite palettes, you guys. Whenever I just open this, it screams me. If I could create a palette, I would definitely reach for more burgundy colors. I love it because of like the cranberry wine colors it has, but it also has a lot of matte colors in here too, and shimmers as well. My favorite thing about this palette, I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see, has to be like this little quad right here, right over here towards the end. Because they're all mattes, I just seem to, every time I reach for this palette, I gravitate towards this end of it. I love the shimmers in this palette as well, and I have played around with a few colors, but whenever my mom and sister want their makeup done, because they rarely wear makeup, unlike me, because I'm testing out products and that's my job, but whenever they want their makeup done, I reach for this palette because it gives them enough color to where they're satisfied with the look. They're not overwhelmed with the actual makeup that I chose for them. So this palette is definitely a go-to. Especially if you're starting off, I would definitely recommend this one. So this next palette is something that's new to my collection and I recently reviewed, and it instantly made it into my top 5. This is the Juiciest Place Nubian palette right here. I just did a review on my channel, so I will link that below if you guys are interested, but I love this palette as well. You will see some very similar colors in these palettes that I recommend because, like I said before, I love earthy tones. So this color right here is what I'm wearing on my lids today. And then this one right here and this matte up here is one that I used in the previous video for my review. This one I also used in that video as well. Definitely colors that I reach for on a daily basis. I love this palette. And then with a lot of the shimmers, you can also go in with like your Too Faced glitter glue or like your Fix Plus just to kind of intensify the color if they're not showing up as much as you want them to. But for the most part, these are very opaque colors. This palette is buttery. The shadows are amazing. When I purchased it, it was around $28, and then I noticed the day after I did the review, it was on sale for $25. I don't know if it's on sale still, but it's a very affordable price for this palette, so definitely check it out. Okay, so this next palette should come as no surprise. It's pretty much every YouTuber's favorite palette that I've seen so far, or go-to palette. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette right here. And this one right here, I have got like pretty much the most wear out of it. This palette right here, I don't even want to show you guys because it's so dirty, but that's just proof that I have been using it. Let me flip it over. Alright, but that's pretty much just proof of how much I use this palette. Oh my gosh. I think the only one that I didn't use as much as all the other colors was the shimmer right here inside this palette. But every other color I have used multiple times, and I just cannot get enough of this palette. I feel like Anastasia did a great job creating this because it's a whole bunch of wearable colors. This kind of gives you autumn, spring vibes. I just love this palette, you guys. If you didn't get your hands on it, I think it's still available on Ulta, but this is definitely one that I recommend. I love her single shadows. I've purchased a few of them. I need to go back and get another one because there was another palette that I used. Let me see if I have it real quick. She had another palette, which I think it was the World Traveler palette right here. The soft peach, as you guys can see, I've used pretty much the whole thing. And then I reached for fudge a lot in this palette too. I didn't want to put this one in my top 5 because I only mainly used 2 shadows from this palette, so I didn't want to consider it in the top 5. But for the most part, I love Anastasia shadows. I feel like the pigmentation and just the quality of these overall are amazing. So my next favorite palette has to go to one that I custom made. This one right here is just like a mixture of Anastasia shadows and MAC shadows, which should come to no surprise since I just said how much I love them. But the top row is Anastasia shadows, and then the bottom 2 largest ones are MAC. This one right here is a pressed pigment in Deeply Dashing, and this is the one that I wear on a lot of lip swatch videos that you guys ask. If I have like a sparkly brown neutral eye, it's this one. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up, I love that color when I wear lip swatches because it goes with a lot of the colors. And then this one right here is called Marvelous. This is an eyeshadow right here. Like, this one is a pro shadow, but Marvelous is another one of my go-to favorites. I love this one as a transition color, especially when I wear like a lot of purples or mauve colors. Here is Pink Champagne. The burgundy one is Rosette, and then the olive one is Truffle Glitter. But the last palette I wanted to share with you is my Sweet Peach palette. I have been using this since when it first came out. I know a lot of people weren't able to get it when it initially came out. I was actually lucky because I went to my Sephora and I was like the last one in line to be able to get this palette. So I got it when it first launched. But what I love about this palette, of course, is the mattes in here. And pretty much every single matte shadow, like this beautiful one here, which is called Summer Yum. The one right next to it I use as transition colors. This one right here, if y'all have the palette, it does look like it has like more of a shimmery look to it, but it actually seems to come off a little bit more matte. It has a little bit of specks of shimmer in it, but not a lot. So I do use this one a lot too. And then these two over here I use as like highlighters or lid colors, or sometimes I put it on my brow. And I'll just mix it with other colors if I want to lighten the colors that I have on. That's what I did today. This puree color is what I used for my transition color today. I shared my top 5 with you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you want me to continue the series for highlighters next. And I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.